All right, there you see. I got what's your name? Milo is on a slip lead because he chewed his leash that I had in his crate. All right, on him in his crate. So what I've been doing, there's always a point where we got to start pushing it, right? Um, but these fearful guys, you want to take your time, as much time as you can, but also you don't want to stay in the fear, right? So at some point you got to start pushing it. I like to build some minor stresses, right? Like out here doing the leash change as opposed to doing it in his crate right away because I like to try to get him the idea of coming out kind of on his own without me having to put a bunch of stress on him going inside. Uh, where was I going? Right? Because you go into the crate where it's supposed to be a safe space, supposed to be comfortable, right? Relax. We don't want to put stress in there, right? We don't have to. So, and look, he was at the admin's house for a few days, and she had. That's what she does. She just goes in and puts on. So we knew there was no, more than likely, no bite risk, right? So some dogs, there's a bite risk. You definitely want to keep a leash in there, right? And it wouldn't be one that they can chew through, unless they have a muzzle on. It would be like a metal one, right? So say you have a metal leash, you have it on them. That way they can't chew through it. That way you can control them. Anyways, that's a tangent already. Uh, where was I going? So I had to go in there and put the slip lead on them, right? So I was gonna start doing that at some point, anyways. I wasn't gonna leave the leash on them in there indefinitely because that's silly. Um, I Today is 3 days. Let's see, came Tuesday midday, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Today's his fourth day. So this is kind of after 3 or 4 days is kind of when I start thinking about pushing it, and I just try to go by the way the dog's acting, right? So good boy. That's that's coming pretty close. He's a couple feet away. Uh, that's coming pretty close on his own, right? So, anyways, back to the kind of controlled stresses. This right here is what I'm talking about. Like you apply pressure to him, good boy, right? This is stressing them out, right? And then you let it go. It looks like nothing, but to a dog that's scared, that's a lot of pressure, right? So I like to build up at least a few days of that. So that's what did I say yesterday? It's probably 2 times each session. Well, 2 times out of 3 sessions. So 6 times a day, I'm kind of doing that, making them come in close, changing. You know what I mean? So it's applying pressure, letting the pressure release. Um, so doing that out here where he's more free to feel more comfortable, as opposed to inside the crate where he's kind of backed against the wall, right? I guess is what I'm looking for. That way we got a few out here. It's a lot. It's gonna. My feeling is it's gonna be less stressful in there, right? And then hey, sometimes the earlier you just start doing that, the faster they get over with it. Get over it, right? But oh, that's where I was going. I wanted to get where so every time he's come out, I go, "Come on, buddy, let's go," right? And so he's gotten to where I don't have to do any leash pressure, right? So at first, the first few times, come on, buddy, right? And then the leash pressure for him to come out, right? The leash pressure and movement. You have to move too, right? Um, so that gets him coming out. So that gets the idea of when I say this, come on, let's go, right? Don't stay in there being scared. Uh, and again, sometimes the faster you do it, they get over it faster. But also sometimes when you do that, it's like it takes them longer to build the trust, right? Does that make sense? Hi, buddy. Oh, that was another thing. I saw this. I just saw. I don't know who it's from. It's somebody I've never seen before, but it was talking about clients asking how long it's going to take, right? Working with stuff like this. Talking about fearful dogs, and he's like, there's no blueprint, which is true. But then it also said use positive reinforcement. Everybody uses positive reinforcement. I don't understand this whole. But what he's saying is use positive reinforcement only. The problem with using positive reinforcement only is it's going to take a while, and you might can get there. There's some dogs that you're not going to get there by just throwing a bunch of food in there to them, right? Like if I threw, I don't care what food I threw in there. He's not. He does like I put whenever he goes back in, I'll put some cookies in there towards the front, and then I walk away. They're there for at least a couple hours before he eats them, right? Now the offer means something, right? The fact that it's there means something, but that's where I was going with. That's where I was trying to go with the pressure thing. You also have to do uh, controlled pressure situations, right? Come here, buddy. Right. So there he gets close. So now he wants to go away, but I want to take the slip lead off. I'm awfully close to his face. Try to look sideways. Right. So I take the slip lead off. Right. And I'm going to hold him until his body settles down. Once his body settles down, I'm going to let him have. Right. So and this should be getting faster. I already feel him coming off of the tension, where before it was taking a little bit longer. Good. Okay. Right. So that wasn't but a few seconds. To me, that felt like 5 minutes. But even when he was doing it before, it was probably 10 seconds. But to me, it felt like 5 minutes, right? Yeah. And he did pee and poop again, too. I wonder if he chewed the leash because he had to poop. And I took Molly first because she didn't poop this morning. Right? So put pressure on him, then let him go away and be a dog. It's okay. And then let's see if he comes back. We got all day now. I took Molly in kind of early. She looked like she was more tired. I could have kept her out 10 more minutes. I shorted her, but it's summertime, so you got to worry about the heat, right? There's a lot of noises going on over there. They're working on the street, so it's light noise, but it's over there, right? Yeah, you can't avoid pressure, man. You want to minimize the amount of pressure, especially in the beginning, and then start adding more pressure and more pressure. The more controlled pressure you do with your dog, especially if you start with a puppy, if you start as a, oh, he's got to poop again. Oh, hi! I thought you were gonna go poop again. You wanted me to stand up? You want to play with toys? Anyways, you get a puppy, handle it a lot. Just handle it while they're young. Get them used to it. Uh, like I see a lot of people here, they get puppies and they just let them follow them all the time. They never have a leash on them. But then when the puppy gets older, they try to put a leash on it. And now the dog doesn't like it. Everything you're going to do in the big picture, start when they're young. Hi, buddy. Start young. Get them used to all that kind of crap. Oh, that's where I was trying to go. I was trying to go with you do a lot of smaller, controlled pressure and stressful situations, right? And then build on that so they become more and more resilient. And this is it. You can't go too fast, right? Like I'm trying to do the leash out here where you can get away. Then so that way, when I go inside, it's not going to be as stressful as maybe it was or maybe it wasn't over there. Maybe it's just kind of weirded out about it. I don't know. Boy, you're going to town on that grass too. And you just watch how they react, right? See, that's interesting, right? When I was when I was sitting down, he stayed farther away. When I stood up, he came over closer, right? It's usually the opposite way. Do 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 do. Some people say don't put your hands on your hips. Look, man, get the dog used to it, dude. That's how you stand. That's how you stand, right? Somebody's gonna be standing with their hands on their hips, but you don't have to be all confrontational. Standing there. People make too big a deal out of nothing. That's why we have so many problems with these guys, right?